Hey everybody. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Good to see you. Lots of people in the chat. Just such a loving little family we've got in the chat. Our little global community here. It's good to see. Getting a howdy from Milena. Hello. Alejandra's here. French Leo, Rosa, Melinda, Fanny, France. Giari is here. So many regulars are here, and some newbies as well. Some people who are fresh to the class. Kavita Singh said it's your first time. Finally, you get to come. Who else is a first timer? Where are the first timers? The rookies. Show yourself. All right. Yeah, nice little family. I'm the star of the family? Okay. I'm not the father. I'm not the dad. The guiding light. That's funny. So yeah, happy Friday, happy St. Patrick's Day, if you celebrate that particular day. I guess I should be wearing green today, but well, I've got my green screen behind me, so that's good enough. Smrt is from the Czech Republic. Cool. Welcome. Good to see the Czech Republic represented in the chat. Luke is back. Chari. And Arvind is here. Cool. The color suits me. The green color or the blue? Yeah, Trey Brown is back. Yeah. Yeah, we missed you last week. There was even an example sentence with your name in it last week, Trey. All right. So, happy St. Patty's Day. Hope you're wearing green. Or maybe it's not St. Patrick's Day if you're watching this in the future, right? If you're watching the video, then maybe you missed it. All right. So, I am coming to you live from Vancouver. I just forgot where I am. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, downtown, at the Canadian College of English Language. Kavita, you're asking me to tell you when class will start? Class is starting right now. This is class, okay? Yeah, we're going to get into the lesson in a couple minutes. So yes, if you're brand new and you have no idea who I am, I'm Shaun. Hi, I'm going to be your teacher for the next hour or so. Okay. You like the jacket? I wore this jacket for you guys. I want to be a little fancy today, yeah? I wanted to look smart for you. So, yeah, I'm coming to you from Vancouver, downtown, the Canadian College of English Language, Friday morning. I'm getting ready for the weekend. You're welcome, Trey. Victor, why should you wear green? I'm not. Yeah, it's because today is St. Patrick's Day, which is an Irish, kind of a special Irish holiday, where people, typically in North America, I think, with Irish background, wear green and drink green beer. All right, that's why. Why do they drink green beer, or why do we? I can't tell you really, but look it up. Okay, Google it. But let's get started, guys. Let's get into it. So if you are new, if you have questions during the class, put them in the chat. Okay, put your questions in the chat, and I will try to answer them as best I can. I've still got a little bit of a lingering cough, so I'm going to try not to cough on you guys for an hour. All right, Steve Lynn, that is correct. That's green beer. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so if you have questions, put them in the chat. If the question isn't really about what we're talking about in class, I may not be able to answer it. But if I miss your question, you can put it back in there, okay? And I'll try to answer your questions as quickly as I can, as best I can, yeah? As clearly and as often as I can. Okay, so Bharat is saying good evening. Hello, hello, good morning. All right, I'm going into the lesson here, guys. Let's go. So, yeah, before we get into the lesson, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, I guess. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's been a long week, right? So what I usually do on Fridays, as I'm looking forward to the weekend and trying to plan what I'm going to do with my kids on the weekend, obviously, I like to take a peek. Whoa. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, forget about that. I like to look at the weather report, which isn't looking too good for Vancouver. I hope it's sunny and warm and dry where you are, but this is what I'm looking at for the weekend. So, yeah, Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, 90%. A 90% chance that it's going to rain. It's pretty high percentage, right? A pretty high probability of rain. So basically in Vancouver in the spring, late winter and springtime, this is life. It's rainy, right? Same as the north of France. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, very similar to England and some other kind of northern countries too. Netherlands, for example. Same in Ukraine, Victor is saying. So it's the rainy time of year. That's how we get the flowers in May, right? So that's okay. Nor it's hot where you are. ABC Kit is in Vancouver. Cool. All right. Well, this is your weather report for the weekend, ABC Kit. Okay. So basically, if it's a rainy day, if it's raining tomorrow, I'll probably take my kids to this place, which is kind of in the eastern part of the Vancouver core. This is called Science World. It's a cool place to take kids, especially on a rainy day. You can go inside and do all sorts of fun activities. It's good for older kids, younger kids. It's good for big kids, right? Lots of fun. So if it's raining tomorrow, I will most likely take my kids to this place, Science World. The weather's beautiful in Palestine? Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is. I'm jealous. All right. Trey, you want to know what the weather is Sunday? I'll talk about that next week. Okay. So if it's raining, I'm going to go to Science World. However, there is hope for me, right? There's hope. There's a little sun there, maybe peeking out, right? It says a chance of a shower, meaning a little rain is a shower, right? John Connor is here. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Adriano is from Brazil. Hello. So again, it might be sunny tomorrow. There's a 40% chance, 40%, that it's going to rain in the afternoon. So there is hope. Okay, so this is kind of a picture of the forest near my house on Burnaby Mountain. Yeah, this is. I live in this tree right here. Yeah. No, but if it's a nice day, not even sunny, if it's just not pouring rain, if it's not raining, I'll probably just go for a walk in the forest near my house. My oldest son likes to climb trees, so if he wants to go climb a tree on a beautiful day, then I will do that with him. Omar's back. Hey, Omar. Does look beautiful. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah. It is nice. I like it up there. Omar says it looks nice. Victor says it looks like a horror film. John Wall's in New West. Well, this is close to you, John. This is a picture of Burnaby Mountain, so that's not too far from there. Cool. All right, so we've got some local people here watching today. That's cool. All right, so why on earth am I telling you what I'm going to do on the weekend? Why am I showing you pictures of Science World and Burnaby Mountain Forest? Because today, we're jumping around a little bit, okay? Last week we were on Unit 6. We've already done Unit 7. We're kind of finished up with Unit 6. So today, because a lot of people have been asking me questions online about these particular grammar points, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit to Unit 9 in 120. Dress to Kill. Thanks. That's right. What was the question? Mr. Fogg? Yeah, that's probably, I don't know. That's a good question. That might be fog, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about the first conditional. So just a reminder, and Alejandra knew where I was going, right? She's one step ahead of me, as usual. So just a reminder for anybody who's a little bit new, maybe, that this is an intermediate class, right? Kind of a mid-level class. So some of this might be a review for you, all right? But everyone is welcome, high and low and in anywhere in between, okay? So in Unit 9, we're going to be talking about conditionals. But today we're going to start with the basics, okay? So we're going to start really simple today with the first conditional. So here's just an example. If my team loses this match, they will be out of the tournament. I actually don't even know what team that is. I just used the picture as an example. All right. So if my team loses this match, they will be out of the tournament. This is the first conditional. And what we're talking about today, and this is, I'm sure, a sentence that many of you can relate to and can use in the future, right? Conditions bewilder Reziar. Yeah, sure. Well, this is why we're talking about conditionals today, guys, is because it is a sentence structure and grammar point that gives a lot of students a massive headache, okay? So I'm going to try to walk you through it as simply as I can. And if you have questions, put them in the chat. If you put your questions in the chat, I will try to answer them, all right? Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Today we're talking about if. Thanks, Jeremy. All right, so the word if, short and sweet, we can use this in so many different ways in the English language that it causes a lot of problems for students, as I said. Okay? That's right, Asala. This is an if clause lesson. That's exactly right. Mimi, it's okay if you're late. You guys, craziness. Okay, so if, right? If is what we're focusing on today, but what we are really looking at today with the first conditional is real possibilities. Now, this is something I want to really drive home. I'm going to be talking about this all class, is that what we are talking about today, these are real possibilities, real future probabilities. Today's lesson, we're not talking about dreams, we're not talking about wishes, and we're not talking about fantasy land stuff, okay? We're not imagining things, we're not dreaming, we're not thinking about fantastic things. What we are focusing on today with the first conditional is reality, real, future possibilities. Facts, maybe not facts, because it depends, but, and Reziar, this is what we're talking about. Today, there's no imagination, there's no unicorns in today's class. Well, other than this unicorn here, okay? So, let me explain, all right? No imagination, no no fiction, no stories, okay? What we're looking at with first conditional is future probability, okay? Now, future probability is what I was looking at with the weather report. 90% chance of rain, 40% chance of rain in the afternoon. These are probabilities, right? This is real possibilities, things that can happen, likely will happen, or may happen, okay? Adriano saying, is this a Spanish class? I don't know if there's some context there. Okay, so what's Trey Brown saying? If means the possibility of something happening, and when is more possible or oh, okay, so you're talking about the difference between if and when. Well, we can come back to that later. That's a good point when we're going to talk about that. Okay? Omar, David is doing well. David's starting a little vacation today, actually, so he's probably doing very well. Okay. So this is real. This is the future. So let's talk about it. The conditional sentences, unlike some things in English, have a very clear structure. All right? Like last week, we were talking about this, how some structures in English, some grammar, has a formula that you can follow. And the first conditional is a very clear formula, okay? With of course, a few exceptions. So it is if plus the present simple. So if, and your subject with a present simple verb, okay? Will plus base form. Now, base form, as we've talked about before in this class, is the most basic form of a verb. So no tense, no conjugation, just that verb, like be, go, do. This is base form. Okay? So let's look at some examples. Vivek, let go of your hate. Let go of your hate, man. All right, so here's an example. This is a very common, kind of classic, common example of how to use the first conditional. Okay? All right, Omar, take it easy. Yeah, a little extreme there, yeah? So if it snows, school will be canceled, okay? Will be. All right, so you got your if, okay? You've got your present tense, present simple verb here. Sometimes you might see it in present continuous. Will, and then base form. So you guys are talking about zero conditional. Jimmy Fallis, this is a good question. Hold on to that question, okay? And ask me in a few more minutes, and then I'll explain kind of the difference between zero conditional and first. But kind of, yes, to answer your question, right? This is about chance. Is it going to snow? I don't know if it is or not. Is it possible? Here it is, right? Maybe in Palestine, you guys were saying it was really nice, so it'd probably be a strange thing to say this in Palestine today, because the likelihood that it's going to snow probably very, very low to nothing. Bushra says, if I stop teaching you, you will be sad. And yes, shall, guys, that's kind of old-fashioned, yeah. You will see it from time to time. JB87, you haven't missed most of it. Okay, so here's one example. Let me show you another one. So if we have time, we'll stop in Seattle. So maybe I'm driving from Vancouver to Portland. Maybe, if the traffic is good, maybe we'll be a little bit early and we will have time to stop in Seattle. So this is real possibility. This is future probability. Rosa Casiero says, if I'm not tired, I'll go for a walk. Beautiful. Asala says, you're canceling the school if it snows. Okay. Mimi's from Palestine? Yeah, right. So what's the chances? Well, I mean, maybe it depends on where you are. I don't know, but okay. So one more example. just to really focus on this structure. And again, guys, I said we're looking at the simple first conditional today, and then next week we'll get into some more complex stuff here. Mr. Meto, good one. You guys are going crazy with the example sentences. Perfect. Good, guys, good. So there's if again, right? If he fails, fails is your present simple. If he fails the test, he won't pass the course. Now, of course, here you see that it is in the negative. And I think Rosa Casiero, your example maybe was negative as well. And that's important to point out. That will or will not, both are okay for the first conditional, right? If it's raining tomorrow, I will go to Science World. If it is sunny, I probably won't go to Science World. I'll stay outside. Yeah, that's a good one. If I study hard, I will pass the exam. Good first conditional and a very positive, optimistic attitude as well. Good for you. If you study, you will succeed. Good, these are good, guys. All right, so just a tip, of course. You don't have to worry about this when you're speaking, obviously, in conversation. But in writing, obviously, you have to watch your punctuation with this because this is a complex sentence, right? You've got two clauses. You've got the if clause and your main clause. So just when you're writing these types of first conditional sentences, watch where your comma is going or not going. Okay, so the comma rule, Marianne's back. Hey, some former CCEL students in there, always good to see. If, there's another if, right? If the dependent clause is the if clause. So if the dependent clause, the if clause, comes before the main clause, you need a comma there, okay? And that, what I just said, is kind of an example of the zero conditional, what you guys were kind of asking me about. Exams start after tomorrow for Mimi. Uh-oh. Stress time, pressure time, judgment day. French Leo says, if blah blah subject will. Yeah, basically, that's right. Yeah, that's my point. Okay, so if it snows, which we saw before, if it snows, you've got your dependent clause, your if clause. If it snows, comma, school will be canceled, right? But of course, complex sentences can be inverted. You can switch those, right? Jundi says, if I eat that pizza, comma, I'll be happy. And that's a perfect example. School will be canceled if it snows. Now I've got the if clause at the end, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I have no comma there because I'm beginning with the main clause, okay? JB87 says, if you help me, I will love you. Yeah, that's a pretty good proposition, I think. All right. So many good examples coming in. Bharat, what are you confused about? Yeah, you liked this whistle, that? All right. Easily excited. Okay, so watch your commas, guys. All right, a couple more things, and then I'm going to put you guys to work here. So, So I just thought that with the first conditional, I would just take a couple minutes and talk about how and when we use it, right? There's so many different things that you can express with that first conditional about future probability, about real possibilities. Okay, so obviously you can use the first conditional to talk about future plans, right? As I did at the beginning of class. If I decide to go to the party, I'll call you, right? That's a really good, common, everyday example of how we use the first conditional in the English language. Are you going to the party? I don't know. If I go, I'll give you a call. If I stay home in my pajamas and eat ice cream and watch Gilmore Girls, I don't know, I will not call you, right? Plans for the future. Right, French Leo, if it doesn't snow, I will not take my gloves. Perfect. Good. If you give her flowers, she will kiss you. Maybe. So maybe that's an example of advice. So we use it to talk about plans for the future. Rosa, that's not a crazy question, and I'm going to answer that in a couple minutes. That's a good question. Okay, so plans. Threats and warnings. I told you before, I've got kids, right? I've got kids, so I need the conditional, right? Because I have to use the finger, right, and say, if you do that again, there will be consequences. Okay? There will be consequences. Right? A very, very vague, very open-ended threat. Consequences. Something for a child or a student to think about, right? I don't know what he did. He actually doesn't look like he's done anything wrong. I don't know. Good. Poor child. Yeah, hey, who knows? If you interrupt me, I will kill you. Now, Anwar, that's a good example. That's good. But here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your threat, and I'm going to use you as an example. Okay? So I'm going to go into my notes. I'm also going to close this stuff, whatever that is. And I'm going to put Anwar's example up here. Now I know you were just putting it in the chat. But just be careful. I'm going to use you as an example. So obviously don't worry about the capitalization because you're chatting and you don't have to worry about that. But if you interrupt me, if you're writing the sentence, just make sure to put that comma there, right? If you interrupt me, I will kill you. It's a little dark. Yeah, it's a little extreme. But as long as the punctuation is okay, I can handle it. Okay? Although I guess this kind of interrupted me a little bit. Right? Yeah, exactly. You want that comma there. Good. Okay, let's go back in here. So we can talk about plans, we can talk about threats and warnings. Right, Kavita, that's a good one. And we also use it to talk about problems, right? If we don't start saving money, we will be in debt forever. Not the most optimistic view, but there we go. So we talk about problems. And one other really good use, and there's so many other kind of ways or reasons to use the first conditional. This is a very important one. Negotiation. Making deals, right? A little give and take. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, as they say. Right, if we don't study, we will fail the exam. Right, exactly. So negotiation, I'll give you $20 if you do my chemistry homework. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. $20? Not bad. All right. If I were him, I don't know if I would take it. But that's not first conditional. We'll talk about that next time. But this, if you give me money, I will do your homework. Don't do that. Because if the teacher finds out, he will or she will kill you or just make your life miserable. Jerry, yeah, you're asking about if and when. Good question. We'll come back to that. Save that question and throw it back to me in a minute. Really good. Okay, so Rose's question. Going to. The question was, can we use going to instead of will for a conditional? And the answer is absolutely you can. Ali Hyder's asking about mixing conditionals. Yeah, now I'm not going to go that deep now, and maybe not even in this level class. I do have a video from last year on mixed conditionals that you can check out. The whole class is just about mixed conditionals. Busher was wanting to know if my coffee ever gets cold. Yeah, but if my coffee gets cold, I will still drink it. Okay. All right, going to. So yes, Rosa, you can use going to for conditions. If I say, if I'm late again this week. My teacher is going to kill me. My teacher will kill me. He's going to kill me. Omar, are you going to teach me? Are you going to? Yeah, that's a good negotiation. That's a good deal. Maybe I need Arabic. I'm going to Saudi Arabia on a little trip next month. That's a true story. Yeah, you guys are always asking me what coffee. This is Tim Hortons coffee. Very Canadian. Okay, so going to instead of will, you can use it. Now, Vivek, you're saying, I will bite you with my teeth. That's a little bit what we call redundant. You can only bite someone with your teeth. So you can't bite someone with anything else. So with my teeth is really not necessary. And it's a little dark, too. If you excuse me, yeah, that's correct. Yep. And yeah, I mean, in most cases, you can use going to interchangeably. Let's look at an example here. Now, in this case, I wouldn't use going to because this is more about, because it's such a negotiation, I wouldn't use it for negotiations. I'm going to give you 20 bucks if you do my homework. Sounds a little strange. But that mother, where are we? This one, you can definitely use going to. If you do that again, there is going to be a consequence. Okay? All right. There's too much stuff going on in there. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so again, one more thing, and then I'm going to get you guys to do some work for me. So the tip, again, I have to repeat myself because this is kind of the main confusion with the if clauses and the different conditionals, is that today we're talking about real possibilities. So, for example, if I get a pet orca whale, I will name him Steve. This is not a good example of the first conditional. Okay? Can't do that because while I wish I could have a pet orca, my bathtub is not big enough. Okay? I do not have a bathtub big enough for Shamu here, okay, or Steve, I should say, right? So that is not a good example. Steve, Lynn, you like that one? Right. So Swade is saying this is hypothetical, right? This goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of class about imagining and dreaming and wishing, right? Now, Omar, if you say, if I get a pet tiger, I will name him Slash. Now, in that sentence, just make sure that you getting a pet tiger is a real possibility. Okay, now maybe in Saudi, you guys can get pet tigers. I'm not sure, right? But maybe you're actually considering getting a pet tiger. But I am not actually considering getting a pet orca whale. All right, so you can't do this. This is the second conditional, and Atik is asking about this. We're not going to discuss this in class today because we need an entire class at least to talk about the second conditional. All right? If it's a real possibility, you can use the first conditional. But in this case, you can't. Okay? So, okay, we'll get back to that. Work time for you. All right, so let me go in here for a minute. I'm going to see what you guys can do with this. Okay, now a lot of you have been putting example sentences in there already, and that's great. So all I want you to do is look at these sentences and use your own ideas to finish them to express the first conditional, the future probability. Okay, so A says you will have a good time. So something as simple as if you study at CCEL, a little promotion there, you will have a good time. All right, shameless promotion. Now, make sure you're watching for punctuation because I didn't put any commas in there in these sentences down here. So that's your job. Okay. So take half of the sentence, finish it with your own idea, put it into the chat, okay? Make sure you've got the right punctuation there. Put the letter next to it so that I know which one you're answering, and then we'll go over it together as one big happy online family, okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that, and then we'll talk about it together, okay? Get to work. I'm going to put the monkey music on, and I'm going to disappear and drink my cold coffee. Get to work. All right. Good, 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 good. So much goodness. So many good answers in the chat. Okay. So if you study at CCEL, you will have a good time. Some people said other things. If you study well, you'll have a good time from Zainab. That's good. Okay, if you stay with me, I'll say that much. Okay. We'll keep it G-rated. If you come with us, Navjot Singh says, if you come with us, you will have a good time. Sounds like a guarantee. I like that. Okay, so if global warming continues, now a lot of you said things like, if global warming continues, the Earth will get hotter, or the climate will change, and that's good. Although that seems kind of like the same thing, right? Because global warming is the climate changing, I think, technically, and it is the Earth getting hotter. But that's okay. Wow, this is a hard name to say. Chientoantrang? Li? Wow. So, pretty dark. But this is, if global warming continues, we're going to die. Okay, well that's lovely. Okay, now make sure you've got the comma there too, gang. Okay, remember I didn't put any commas there. How about a little less bleak? We're going to see more severe weather. Okay. But hopefully we'll be fine. Or maybe not. All right? Well, it's Friday. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's Friday morning. I don't want to get too morbid. Okay? But that's a good example, and a good use of going to instead of will. We're all gonna be in trouble. And someone said we're gonna face the music. That was a good one too. I like that. Okay. I lost where that one was, but if it was, oh yeah, there you go. Adriana, good for you. We will face the music. All right, what about C? Let me look for an answer for C. JB87 is asking, am I Irish Canadian? No, I'm Scottish Canadian, which is close enough for me to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We say that, I mean, people say on St. Patrick's Day, everyone is Irish. But no, I'm Scottish Canadian, coming from Nova Scotia, New Scotland. All right, so C. What do we got here? Okay, so Rosa Cassier. Oh, I'm going to put yours up there, and I'm going to change it a little bit. So you said, if you ask me, now you just missed for money, right? Make sure that for is in there. If you ask me for money, comma, I will be surprised. Okay, that's a good one. And we've got some other ones here. What else do we have for C? C, 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 C. Swade says, if Omar passes his writing exam, I'll be surprised. I don't know, Omar, if she's talking about the same guy. I'm not sure. And Bharat just kept it simple. If you do that, I will be surprised. Yeah, good. Good for you. Cool. Next one. If I go on holiday this summer. Alejandro was talking about having a cold beer, right? I think so. And who else has one for D? I think Ella, you had one too. What did you say? You were going to lie. I think I saw yours somewhere. I'm having a hard time finding it. But I think you said, if I go on holiday this summer, comma, I will lie on the beach. Right? Let me take that. Put that in there. Wow, that's fine. I will lie on the beach. JB87 for C. If you gain weight, I'll be surprised. Okay, that works. Good one. Mimi, it will be amazing. If I go on holiday this summer, it will be amazing. That's great. I'm gonna get a tan. Good. Yeah, Louise is going for the tan as well. Okay, so the next one, if you leave. Now this was a common answer. I think most of you said something like this. Make sure you've got the comma in there. Hiva Angel, and I think Trey, you said something very similar to this, is simply I will be sad, right? If you leave, I'll be sad. Somebody said, if you leave, I'll die or something. That's very severe, but good. Okay, and F, by Fanny France. And Alex said, I'm going to be sad for that one. Good one, good. Well, not good, but good answer. Painkiller says, if you leave me, I'll have a couple beers. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Just I'll have a couple. It sounds like a nice relaxing evening, right? That doesn't sound like a tragedy. Okay. And Marianne, this is for you. I think you said you can finish my fries if you want, right? Now in this case, yeah, we're using can there for that conditional, right? You can finish my fries if you want. Kind of talking about possibility or ability rather than kind of that future probability, but it's still a conditional. You can finish my fries if you want. That's very nice of you, Marianne. Sange said, I'll give you a hug if you want. Yeah? And you can finish my fries and I'll give you a hug if you want. All right. And if we work together, this last one here. And Zainab, that one for F, I will help you if you want. Perfect. Omar for E, if you leave, I will eat the last slice of pizza. That's awesome. And Suede says, if we work together, put a comma there, we will finish in a short time. Good one. If we work together, we will finish in a short time. I think Vivek said, if we work together, we will fall in love. Which, yeah, that sounds pretty confident on his part. Okay, guys, so this is the first conditional. It's as simple as that. Future probabilities follow this structure, will, going to, that is that. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, just very briefly, and this will kind of go into one of the questions you guys asked, was that there are other time clauses, time words that we use in that same structure, right? These words like when, as soon as, until, before, and after, we can use these conjunctions to talk about the future with the exact same sentence structure that we use for that conditional. You just replace the when with the if, right? You're confident, Vivek? Mr. Meto says, if we work together, we will get the target. Sure, maybe reach the target is a good one too. So for example, what I'm talking about, and some of you have been asking questions about this, something like this. I'll call you before I leave, right? So rather than if, you're using another conjunction to express a different idea. You're talking about time now, not about condition. But the sentence structure is the same. You've got I will, you got will here, right? Plus your base form verb, and then your conjunction here, and your present simple, okay? Again, talking about the future. Right, Milena saying even if and unless. These are different ways to talk about conditionals, which we can add in there in a later class. Absolutely, as long as well. Okay, so let me show you two more examples, and then I'm going to answer one of your questions from before. No, to answer your question, this is not conditional. This is time. Okay, we're not talking about conditionals anymore, but this is the same structure. This is just talking about the future, okay? But don't be confused by this. If is conditional. Before is not conditional, okay? Until he apologizes, I will not speak to him. Now again, this is not conditional, really. This is talking about something that will happen in the future. I'll be back as soon as I can. Right. Now again, it's just the same sentence structure. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because some have asked me about when. Okay? I'll get something to eat when I'm at the game. All right? Or when I go to the game, I will get something to eat. Now the question was, what's the difference between when and if? Okay, that was one of your questions. Now again, this is not first conditional. This is just time. Okay? But it's the same structure. This does look kind of delicious, doesn't it? Okay? So, the question was, and I think Rosa, you asked it, kind of the difference between, let's go down here. The difference between when and if. Okay, now if, in most cases, if is that probability with the conditional, right? It's talking about something that's possible but not certain, right? Now usually when we use to talk about something that is much more certain. Okay, so for example, you can't say if, well, how about, this is not, maybe, this is not the happiest sentence, but I want to be buried here if I die. Now, this sentence, again, I think Vivek is rubbing off on me here, not the happiest sentence, but I want to be buried here if I die. How about, I'll change here. I'll say in Vancouver. Okay, if I die. All right. So the problem here is that death is not a probability. Okay, it is a certainty. So Victor is already changing it, right? So in this case, I want to be buried in Vancouver when I die. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just an example sentence. Okay. Again, a little bit sad, a little bit dark, right? But that's the difference. All right. So when you use it more when you're talking about something that does happen. Now this is the difference again. Some of you have been asking about first conditional or zero conditional, right? Zero conditional is when we're talking about a general truth or fact, and that's right. Jundi is saying that in there. Okay, right? So think about this. If I arrive late for class, my teacher gets angry. Okay, now the difference between what we're talking about today is if I arrive late for class, my teacher will get angry. Okay? Now let me go down here. And again, this is to answer some of your questions, guys. You're asking about zero conditional or first conditional. So sad. Yeah, right. So if I arrive late for class, my teacher will get angry. This is first conditional. This is the future, right? This is a possible future. Will get angry. Down here. Let me highlight that. Okay. If I arrive late for class tomorrow or later today, my teacher will get angry. Not me. You guys can come in late whenever you want. Okay? Now the difference between first and zero conditional is when we're not talking about the future. We're talking about kind of always, in general, right? Or always, typically. We're talking about something that is generally true. We would say this, and let me copy this, put it here, and we would say my teacher gets angry. When I arrive late and Luis is one step ahead of me, right? Now, good question, Jerry, and I'm gonna answer that in a second. So if I arrive late for class, my teacher gets angry. Now this is not the future. This is just talking about every time. Okay, maybe I'm late every day, or maybe I'm late once a week. Okay, my teacher always gets angry, and that's the difference between first conditional, and in this case, which we're not going to talk too much about, this is what we call zero conditional. Okay, this is zero conditional here. Whoa, that's ugly. I wanted to make that like that. Okay. So to answer you guys' questions about when, in zero conditional, you can say this. When I arrive late for class, my teacher gets angry. Okay? Because again, this is not talking about the future. This is talking about a general thing that happens. Okay? But just keep in mind for the conditionals that it's all about cause and effect. Right? This is the cause. This is the result. Just like all conditionals with first conditional, right? This is the cause. This is the result. The difference is, are we talking about the future? Are we talking about always? Are we talking about a hypothetical dream type situation? And Mimi, that's right. This is zero conditional. So for the zero, and Rosa, you were asking about if and when. So in this case, if and when are both acceptable with the zero conditional. When you buy one, you get one free. If you buy one, you get one free. That's the zero conditional. And Adriana B is saying, if I don't write down what the teacher says, I forget everything. And that's a perfect example of the zero conditional, right? If I don't write it down, I forget every time. Perfect. Very good. Yeah, Rosa Casiero, if ice melts, it becomes water. That is zero conditional because that is the truth. That is the cold, hard truth about, well, sorry, the cold, hard truth about ice. I didn't mean that. I apologize for that terrible pun. Well, now Asala is saying, zero conditional cause and effect. Every conditional is cause and effect. Okay, now let's go way back here. Okay, kind of a reason result kind of thing, right? Always remember that I will give you $20 if you do my chemistry. That's still a cause effect relationship, right? Yeah, you do my homework, I will give you the money. But it's conditional, right? One thing has to happen for the other thing to happen. If I get up late, my mom scolds me, Kavita says, yeah. Okay. So guys, this is where we're going to stop with the conditionals. Okay? We're going to continue with this next week. All right? We're going to look at the first conditional and then the second conditional as well and talk about kind of how they're different. All right? Now, we're running kind of low on time, but of course, there's always time for the mistake of the week. Now, sometimes I go a little bit longer for class, but I actually have to teach another class here at the college in about 30 minutes, so I can't hang around as long today. Nitesh, that's a good, yeah, that's a good example about water boiling. Good, good, good. Okay, so it's the mistake of the week. Mistake of the week, everybody. Yeah, okay. So yeah, rewatch it. Steve Lynn, good example of the zero conditional. So if anybody is new to the class, this is the part where we spot the mistake. I'm going to give you a sentence. I'm going to put a sentence up on the screen. And that sentence contains a common English learner mistake. Okay? So can you spot the mistake? If you see the mistake, put it in the chat. And if you're the first one, all right, Ben Check is ready. All right, so if you're the first one, then you are, well, you're the best. There's no ifs about it. There's no condition, right? Well, that is kind of a condition. If you, yeah, that's zero condition. If you are the first to do it, you are the best in the world. All right, zero condition. All right. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Can you spot the mistake? Here's the mistake, or here's the sentence. I'm going to pop off for 10 seconds, put the music on, find me the mistake, guys. Go for it. All right. Good, 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 good. So, lots of answers came in, and I tricked some of you. Now, I because I just like to play mind games with you, I gave you a conditional sentence. I gave you a first conditional, and some of you were looking at that and thinking, what's the mistake with the conditional? But that was a distraction. Right? That was a decoy to make it harder for you to find the mistake, but some of you did. So if we can stay on budget, we will be able to save much money by the end of the month. JB87 saying there's no mistake. Right. So some of you were looking over here. And let me make this crazy kind of fireball thing here. If we can stay on budget, some of you were saying take can away if we stay on budget. But that's correct if you say if we stay on budget, good. But it's not a mistake to say if we can stay on budget, because we're talking about the ability, right? There's just a helping verb, right? Can is not the mistake. Can is perfectly fine. Yeah, Marianne is, yes, definitely. Marianne is asking a good question about, oh, well, debt was earlier. Yes. Silent B for debt, definitely. Okay, good question. Debt. Good. So if we can stay on budget, and you know what? I believe, yes, Vivek. Yes, you did. You were the winner. You are the winner. I don't know if this is the first for you, if this is the first time, but I believe Vivek was the fastest draw on the internet because he noticed that the mistake is not with can or with the comma or with the if. The mistake is with much. So Vivek is the champion of the week. Yeah, followed by, I don't know, who else got it? I mean, Diari, I think you saw it eventually too. Although some of you were looking at like by the end of the month. Okay, so who got it? Who got it? I think Vivek. Yeah, Vivek got it. And I think Rosa, yeah, you get Zainab, good. Trey Brown with this much. ABC Kit, good for you. Like lots of people got it. Nor, good for you. So you all noticed that much is the mistake, right? Now, much money. We can say to save much money. It is very strange and awkward for a native English speaker to use much in this way with an affirmative or positive sentence, right? We don't typically quantify with much unless it's negative. We can say, I don't have much money. I don't have much time, right? I don't have much coffee left, right? But you don't say, I drink much coffee. I have much time. I have much money. It's strange to say that. Okay, so keep much for questions and negatives. Unless, of course, Trey said something like, we will be able to save this much money, because that changes it. Okay, good for you. So instead, you want to say something like, save a lot of money, right? We will be able to save a lot of money by the end. Or, we will be able to save quite a bit of money by the end of the month. Yeah? Or if you want to get really fancy, if you want to get really cute, you can say, we will be able to save a significant amount of money by the end of the month. Vivek is crying with happiness, right? He knows it's never going to get any better than this. This is the peak, right? This is the peak moment of your life, Vivek. This is your moment, right? This is your moment of glory. The prize for the winner is my respect. Yeah? And bragging, what we call bragging rights. Yeah, I'll put that up here. Bragging rights. So the winner gets bragging rights. Okay? Bragging rights means you have the permission, you have the right to brag about how smart you are, right? You can boast to your friends about how quick you are to win the mistake of the week, right? Bragging rights. Vivek is a star. Yeah? So Benchik is saying, why is much the wrong phrase? Because, as I said, good question, I don't have much time, okay? When we use much, typically you want it in the negative here, okay? I don't have much time, money, patience, etc., right? You can say any kind of uncountable noun, right? You use much, but in the affirmative, if you say I have much time, strange, don't say that. Okay? It has to be I have a lot of time, a lot of money. Okay? Or a question, do you have much? Yeah, oh, I'm the best? Well, I think Vivek's the best today. But thank you, Nornor. Okay. All right, Marianne, bye. Some people are leaving already. Okay, so let me pop out because I do have to teach another class here. So let me go back to the special St. Patrick's Day green screen. Okay. French, Leo, is it grammatically correct? I mean, technically, it's the same. It's grammatical because it's a quantifier, right? But I would not use it. I would say I would classify it as a mistake and not just an awkward use of the language. But it is. I would say it is wrong and weird to say I have much time. Okay. But yeah, no, it's not grammatically incorrect because it is a quantifier. Okay. So guys, always a pleasure to jump in here on Fridays and hang out with you for an hour or so, and hopefully help you a little bit. And Mimi, you found the sentence correct. Well, that's why you're here. That's why I'm here. Don't worry about it. Don't stress, right? Just try to think about what I just said and avoid using much in affirmative sentences. Plenty of time, Victor says, and that's correct. Unfortunately, I don't have much time now. I don't have plenty of time. I've got to run to my next class, guys. So until next week, we're here next Friday, same time as today. All right. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for taking part. Thanks for, I don't know, just being my class, right? Helping each other out and having a good time. So tell more people, tell your friends, tell the world. We'll see you back here next week. Keep putting your questions on Facebook and liking the videos and keep watching the videos from the lessons from Neil and from Abby and everybody, Josh. And I'll see you here next time. Okay, guys? Be careful. All right. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Yeah, stay warm. All right? See you later. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.